Sex beat. Let me, yeah. We're gonna try a different way, y'all, because that little platform, I don't know about all that. So Dana's gonna try to join in a few minutes. So hopefully this will look better, sound better. Unfortunately, I won't be as Hey, Paula. So if you guys click on that StreamYard Facebook, I will actually be able to see your comments. I don't know why I can only see a couple of comments. I can't even see everybody is on. It's kind of a little crazy little thing. But I know Dana will be on in a minute. In the meantime, what's going on? Anybody got any wine? I am drinking. Apparently not enough. This Sauvignon Blanc, which is really, really good. My girlfriend Latrice put me onto this years ago, and I thank her for it because it's really a good one. We're gonna see if we can get this thing going. I don't know what's going on today. Because you said I might have wine's the excuse to grab a glass. I know that's right. I'm about to bring you on in a minute. Matter of fact, Paula, send me your Matter of fact, Paula, send me your email address. Paula, send me your email address, honey. I'm about to bring you on this live. You said you look a mess. I do too. It's all right. It's okay. I got my wine. I got my Sauvignon Blanc. What y'all want to talk about? Did y'all hear the news? Oh, I got a dent. Y'all, let me tell you. Oh, my goodness. Hey, go to your email. You no. You're not going to Facebook. Go to your email and click on the link that I gave you. And then what did it do? What? Right. Like I saw it. The only time I saw that action was when I did it with my phone. Okay, wait a minute. Instructions. Yeah, because you can only use this with the laptop or desktop. You can't use this from your phone. That's why I said you got to go to your computer and go to your email, click it on and do it from your computer. That's why I did it that way. I'm sorry, guys. Hey, Jeanette.
Yamma, you said you sent me a link.
Mm-hmm.
It just sends me to view on Facebook, and then when I hit that, it's not letting me.
Let me try again. Let me try one more time. If we don't get it, I'll try to go back to the phone. And if the phone don't work, then I'm just tabling it for tonight. Because this has been one night. Okay, I'm gonna send you the. Oh no, I am sending you an email, and it says wind down link. Sending it right now. Mm-hmm. Yep. Wait a minute. I think I just sent it to the wrong place. Wait a minute. Oh, no. I sent it to the wrong place. Okay. DN. That's not what you sent me. At Gmail, right? Okay. We're going to try this again. I've been sending it to somebody. Okay, let's try this again. Okay.
Okay, wind down link.
Does it take you to StreamYard?
Yes.
Okay. And then it may ask you some things to put in your name and all that. Oh, yeah, I see you now. Okay, so I'm going to hang up on here. Okay. All right. I'm going to turn this down a little bit.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Hello?
Yes, I can hear you. I'm going to take out this music so I can hear you really good. Now.
Hi.
Hey, I think that's better. It looks better.
Yes.
How are you, sister?
I'm good. Wait, let me grab my wine. It's over here.
Okay.
Jalen, get her, please. Okay, here we go.
What you drinking?
I am drinking sweet white wine from Linganore. It's a
And
Maryland winery.
oh,
So you heard, they have those wine festivals here.
Mm-hmm.
They have them like all summer long, and the different wineries come out. And this is one of my favorites. So, of course, I won't be doing any wine festivals this year. So,
First of all, are you even going to be able to finish that glass of wine?
No.
Okay, for those of y'all, for those of y'all who don't know, this is my good friend Dana from high school, and what's that been? 30 years, Dana? 30
30
years.
years. 30
30
years.
years we would have been out. So
Yeah.
really 34 years or 30, yeah, because we started school
When we
we were
started.
freshmen.
Yep.
So look, I don't know how we've been knowing each other that long because I'm only 25.
Exactly. That's what I always say. Okay.
Ah,
When I work with my clients and they ask how old I am, I said, "Oh, I'm the same age as your big sister." That's what I am.
right. Exactly. Exactly. Okay, so you have some good white wine. This is the white wine that I have. Wait a minute. Okay. Sauvignon Blanc. It's one of my hairstylists, my girlfriend named Latrice, she turned me on to this and it's good.
So you have
it's a
white
good
as
one.
well.
I do. I just have it in this little fun thing
Well, cooler. Yes.
because
Yes. I have one of those as well.
and mine just got dented. I was just so mad. I don't
Oh,
girl,
right.
look, I have had the day from hell
Oh
and I just
no.
yeah, it's just been one of those days.
Okay.
But
So
it's
you're
all
just the
right.
right
It's all
person.
good.
You can woosah and deal with it all tonight.
That's right. And we're gonna
Look,
do it
like
while we got our
everybody
little
else
wine
does.
down.
That's right.
So, Dana, first of all, I love your braids.
You did my first time.
Is it?
You know, my hair is really short, so
Right?
I never had the length, and so now I let my hair grow back some, so I was able to get them.
It's cute. Well, do you like it?
It's an adjustment, because I'm used to, nothing being on my head. So this is,
Mhm.
it's not too heavy. Like now I'm into week 3, I think, and I'm getting more, it doesn't bother me as much. But I used to be like, oh, no,
I like them. It's a different look for you. You
it
look
is.
young.
Thank you.
It makes you look a lot younger.
You know what? I had people inboxing me. What is your secret? Please tell me your beauty secret for how you stay looking so young. And I'm like, I don't know. I just got braids.
Well, hey.
And you
So,
always have them.
huh?
I said, you always have them. They look nice.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I got some color in it. I did a little young people thing this time, so we'll see.
Right, right. So you know how
Anyway,
to put yours up and all. I have to get my daughter to do all that.
girl, it took some time.
Did it?
I ain't know how to do it either. Well, look, so all right, let's get started because I know we had a long time getting in here. So I want people to know what you do. Dana is in Baltimore, Maryland, and give people a little bit of your background so they know what you do, so they know we talking about.
Sure, sure. So I am a licensed clinical social worker. And I have been in private practice as well as doing various different roles in my career for the past, I would say, about 25 years.
Mhm.
And so, what I'm currently doing is I work for Baltimore City Public Schools, which I've been there for about 10 years now. And I've
Mhm.
always, since I've been there, I wasn't the traditional social worker. I just didn't do well with just doing the traditional, going, seeing the kids. I always
Mhm.
had a passion for doing special projects and initiatives that were a little more challenging. And
Right.
so at first, I was on a early intervention team that was focused on behavioral and academic and social emotional development for early learners. So that was like pre-K to second grade.
Okay.
And now, currently, I just switched to our Office of Student Conduct and Suspension, where I am a safety conferencer. And
Hmm.
so what happens with that is when our kids get suspended, oftentimes there are lingering issues where there is a conflict that has been well beyond the beginning of the school year invested within the
Mhm.
community, the school. And so what I do is I work as a mediator to bring all parties together, principals, the
Mhm.
students, and the parents. And I facilitate that And the premise of that is for me to build relationships and to demonstrate for them how they can learn to better get along so that they won't keep having these repeated suspensions.
Mm-hmm.
So, in addition to that, I'm also an adjunct professor at Coppin State University for social work students.
Oh, I
Yay,
didn't know that.
yes, I've been doing that about 5 years now. So I teach a social work course to seniors. So it was very rough this year
Oh,
when the COVID hit. I had my seniors freaking out and all of that, but we made it through and they did good. And then I
yeah.
have my passion, which is my individual family practice, which is called Family First Counseling. And
Mm-hmm.
I do adolescents, adults, couples, individual, elderly, it doesn't matter. Now, I was doing kids, but I stopped doing kids about a year ago.
Mm-hmm. So family counseling, um, so like anybody, like I can come and talk to you about some stuff.
And oftentimes, what people don't realize is they say, oh, I need to bring my child in because they're having such and such issues. And what happens is I said, oh, well, after
It's
talking with
home. It's
them,
you.
I found that there are some systemic family issues that have to be worked out. And
Right.
luckily, I don't have a problem really being the child's voice and speaking
Mm-hmm.
on their behalf.
Yeah.
And then also, a lot of times in this current day, I have to kind of back parents up with what parenting is because our adolescents of today are very different than when we were coming up.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
the autonomy and the entitlement that they have, it's oftentimes that a lot of parents need someone outside of, their family circle to say,
Uh-huh.
no, you are supposed to listen to your parents. And these are rules and regulations that you have to adhere to, whether you agree or not. So that's oftentimes what the family work ends up being about.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I can imagine. It seems like too, like you said, you going in family issues that you be having to counsel some parents, I'm sure.
Absolutely. And there are times where after I've done a family session that the mom
Mhm.
and dad both want to come to me. So that means I would be seeing the child, the parent. And I say, no, I'll refer you guys out because I'm here for the child. I can't do individuals
Oh,
for the whole family. I can see you guys as a unit, but
I
that would
got it.
compromise, the confidentiality and the nature of my therapeutic alliance with. So a lot of times I do have to refer them for their own treatment, but either way it's a win-win because that's the whole goal, is for everybody to get well.
Yeah. And can you speak to that a little bit, Dana? Because I think in our community and in the African American community, we don't never want to get any therapy help, anything. We think we got it all. Oh, that's not for us. We don't talk about our problems. But a lot of times we don't talk about our problems, then it's more problems.
Right.
And so, I mean, I know you see that a lot.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
one thing is, you don't know because you're in it. And it's
Mm-hmm.
kind of like you don't know until the right person is able to put it to you in a way in which it can bring awareness, in which you can really be
Mm-hmm.
open to accepting what it is. So it's a special skill, I think. I mean, because there are lots of practitioners out here. I mean, there are
Mm-hmm.
millions. However, some of us are more skilled than others, and some of us really know the importance of relating and engaging. And so, with that, I think that those who have gone to people who did not have a good skill set in those areas either simply
Mm-hmm.
wrote it off based on that or hearsay from, something they've seen on TV or
Yeah.
somebody that
Yeah.
they know. But if you come
Mm-hmm.
across someone that really knows what they're doing, it's gonna feel good because it's
Yeah.
it's sort of like an unloading that you don't know you're carrying. And so once you get an awareness of that, who would not want to be lighter and just
Right.
feel better. So it's almost like the work does it for you. It speaks for itself when it's a good therapy.
Yeah. Yeah. I can imagine. Wow.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, like I said, a lot of us just don't want to get counseling. We feel like, oh, we can figure it out, we can work it out. But really, you do need somebody else to kind of step in and intervene and give you tools
Yeah.
to, I mean, people don't realize it's not just a matter of you think, oh, I can do this and we'll just talk about it and work it out. And you got, like you said, underlying things that haven't been addressed, and you don't even realize it. You just know that things aren't getting better, right?
Right.
During the COVID time, have you seen an increase?
Oh,
Okay,
absolutely. And the main increase has been
so
in
you've been
anxiety.
busy.
Right.
That's why I
Anxiety.
ain't
I
seen
can
you
tell
on
you
house
there's
party.
there's even been an increase since Trump has been in office, particularly with kids. They are very anxious about the state of the world. So I've noticed that from the time Trump has come into
Really?
office. And then on top of that, with COVID, I'm like busting at the seams with people calling, wanting treatment.
My
And
goodness.
yeah, that's when I really noticed it, is when he became president. And this is across, I see all ethnicities. So it's not just,
African
but
American.
they're
Yeah.
wary, as they're talking about current events in school, because what happens is their imaginations just end up running wild. And so,
Mhm.
they know that that is this representation of the leader of our country, who doesn't
Mhm.
really act in a way in which they've been accustomed to seeing. So that's
Right.
unsettling. Kids like structure and like to be able to predict
Mhm.
things. But when things
Mhm.
are insecure and don't feel safe, then that makes them feel anxious. But
Wow, I didn't realize. I mean, of course, I wouldn't know, but that's interesting that you've seen more cases since he took office. But we are all very uncertain of the
right.
way things
I
are
mean, we
going
know
on
how
right
we
now.
feel as adults. So
Right.
imagine in a child's, their point of view.
Yeah. What would you say to the two people that say, I don't need help. We just need to, yeah, we might have had some issues growing up, but we resolved those, or the kids might have, uh, me and the dad might have had some issues, but we resolved those, and the kids don't know nothing about that. Da 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 da. What would you tell them about mental health as it relates to the rest of your body? Because most people think, well, if you hurt your foot, right? You cut something, you're gonna go to the doctor, but they don't really think about the fact that if you're having some problems, and I hate to use the word mental because people always take it the wrong way, but it's mental.
It is.
Um, how can you tell them how important it is for them to get treatment or to seek out treatment for some issues that they may have or some uncertainties? How important it is as it relates to your whole body and just your being.
Yeah. I think what is paramount is to first ask them the question, and this is what my go-to for those that are resistant to coming to treatment, i.e., adolescents who parents drag them in, or
Mhm.
husbands who don't want to come with
It's
their
always the husbands
spouses.
and the
My
kids.
question to them is, how are things going for you? That's the first thing. And could they be better? And 9 times
Hmm.
out of 10, when someone asks that question, it kind of is like an aha moment for them, in which they can say, well, even if they put on and just try and say, oh, yeah, everything is fine. And so then I come back with, so how can things be better? How can you be your best self? Or then I
Mhm.
make them give me examples, because I do, I get challenged to a T, and they'll say, oh,
Right.
well, I can do this, that, and the other. And I say, well, give me some examples of, how that's been going so well for you. Or let me,
Mhm.
ask you some questions about. So though that's my approach with difficult people who don't want to engage and think about the importance. But I also try to educate from a perspective of it being a holistic approach. It's not an either or, it's all inclusive
Mm-hmm.
to your overall well-being. So just like you would work out, just like you start out as a beginner and you end up to whatever your goal is, I say to them, it's the very same thing with your mental wellness. It's all
Mm-hmm.
about bringing out what is within you. I'm really not doing anything miraculous. I'm just using what you already have and giving you the tools so that you can walk away with that and know what to do under stressful circumstances.
Yeah. Yeah. It's amazing because some of us will sit back and we be like, why you need to talk to somebody? Why you can't just,
Right.
and we put that on people because we don't realize even ourselves, even if we're not dealing with something mental, and I just use that word loosely, we just feel like, oh, well, I got through it or I did this. And then we don't give other people the benefit of the doubt that everybody is different,
Right.
and they react to things different, they work through things different, and people just don't, you find that you don't get support from like family and friends because people just can't understand and they think you're just putting on or whatever the case may be.
Yeah. And you can't get away. There's no way we could ignore the fact that our ancestors had a strength that the more that they dealt with things independently and on their own, the stronger
Mm-hmm.
they were made to feel and were perceived to be. And so to
Right.
kind of break down that stigma and say, you can be all of that plus if sometimes it's just like, some of us just need an adjustment during certain seasons in our lives. It's not to say that it's a life sentence, it's just
Right.
assisting with you getting through some sort of difficulty. And then you have it in your
Mm-hmm.
toolbox so that if it ever comes up again, you will know how to refer back to your own skills and know what to do. But that's
Mm-hmm.
the hardest part to penetrate, is that people are of the mindset of, well, I'm strong because I, can deal with it all on my own. But really, from a clinical standpoint, you're not dealing with it. You're just harboring it and
Mm-hmm.
building up. And then eventually, what I talk about in a lot of my education settings when I do workshops is that it begins
Mm-hmm.
to manifest in a somatic way and physical ways. So you can deny it as much as you want, but eventually it's going to show up. It's going to bubble over like a
Right,
volcano.
because like the stomach, like having the butterflies or the
Right.
irritable stomach, like IBS or irritable bowel syndrome, for
Right.
those people who don't know what I'm talking about. But like
Right.
stuff like, because I had that, like going through life and getting anxious and all that, is always is the main place where I feel it, is right in my stomach. And
Hmm.
by that time, it's gone past, a point, and it's
Right.
now physical symptoms.
Yeah. And see, a lot of people don't attribute that to their mental.
No, I know it's for sure. It's
Right.
always anxiety for me. It goes straight to my gut, kind of
Yeah, and
just,
that's just it. Those of us who have an awareness are in tune with those things that change in our
yeah,
bodies and say
yeah,
something's not right. And then
right.
hopefully they have the strength and the insight to say, I need some assistance with this. And that doesn't make me any less of if
Hmm.
I get some assistance.
So I want to ask you a question. I work in a psych hospital, and of course we see kids and young kids. Um, what would you say? I see a lot of kids now getting bullied because of social media. Of course,
Yeah.
kids been getting bullied, but even more so. But a lot more kids that want to kill themselves.
Oh, absolutely. It's because they don't have, and I worked on a psych unit as well.
Mm-hmm.
And so I did Shepherd Pratt and University of Maryland, Sinai and Hopkins. So I've pretty much been
Mm.
at all of the universities. But what happens is those children aren't able to cope. They don't have a toolbox to refer to. They don't have a support system that they feel like they can rely on, and it's an escape. So it starts even with, I have my kids who start hurting themselves. So I know you heard of
Yes.
cutting, and
Cutting.
lots of them, the younger ones, result to head banging and things like that. That is so that they can regain control. When they endure that pain, for them, it's a regaining of what is confusion and chaotic and out of control. So for them,
Because I've heard them say they just want to feel something.
that's what it is. In their world, they're
Wow.
feeling like the floor has just dropped from under them and they have nothing to grasp onto. There's nobody reaching a hand out. There's no
Mm,
anything within them that they can dig deep and say, oh, okay, I really know, even though this person is, bullying me, I know down deep within myself that I'm confident and whatever. They don't have
mhm.
that. They don't have
Right.
any of that to refer to. And so the easiest thing to do is to just escape. So that's why it's important to have, it be a good, thorough clinical assessment of their safety.
Mhm.
Because
Yeah.
another thing to take note of is that, and I found this in working on the inpatient units and going throughout all of the systems, that these kids
Mhm.
do it for attention. So because they can't get it
Mm.
from home, because their parents are, subject to substance abuse or domestic violence, or, just out in the streets, or they're living with the 90-year-old great great grandmother who, has raised everybody, but now she's having her own health issues. The hospital is a pretty cushy spot for them. And so they often learn,
Mm.
they're resilient. So they know
Yeah.
what it takes to get them the care that they need.
Wow. That's sad.
It is. It really is sad.
That's really sad. And what do you see most when you talk to kids nowadays? Because you said, I mean, it's different now than when we were growing up. What do you attribute, or what do you see? I mean, I know you say it's like attention and all that, but what's driving them to that?
Trauma.
Is it social? But what are you traumatic at 5?
You're
Well,
traumatized
I
from
take that
being
back because it could be other stuff. Yeah. It
right.
could
I
be.
mean, it could be something as simple as every night I hear my mom getting beat by her boyfriend.
But what if it's none of that?
What if it's none of that and they're
Yeah, what if
still
it's just a kid that's a 5-year-old that's going to school, and I guess it's got to be something though, right? It's got to
well,
be either they
sometimes
getting
it's
bullied or
sometimes I find that those who are highly intellectual end up
mm,
just finding different ways to try and seek attention from parents or try to get over on moms. Like I've seen that a great
mm,
deal. Like my practice used to be within a pediatric clinic. And I
mhm,
can't tell you the number of cases where these brilliant boys from private schools would just be pulling the wool over their mom's eyes. Like once I would do a clinical assessment of them, it was nothing
mhm.
wrong with them. They just wanted to have their way. And so they would pretend that they had somatic
Oh.
issues and anxiety and didn't want to go to school. And so mom would take them out of school and things like that.
Huh. And
So,
so they were just using it. They were
and
just-
I'm saying that these kids nowadays, because of their level of exposure, that is very much different than what we had exposure to. They are very much knowledgeable and in the know and very, wise beyond their years. And some of them
Mhm.
use it, unfortunately, in the wrong way.
Yeah, that sounds like it because it's nothing more well hard to deal with as a parent than a kid, your kid, who may be having mental issues or cutting themselves or may have attempted suicide, and you're going through that, and you're, especially if you don't have, I'm talking about people that don't have domestic violence or
Right,
addiction or anything like that in
right,
their family. Okay, if you got all that other stuff, then yes, it's going to happen, but you may not understand why, but we understand why. But
right.
if you don't have any of that, and then you, like you said, you got a really smart kid, and they may seem like they have everything, um, but that's just not enough for whatever,
Yeah,
for
and it
them.
could be just genetically they're loaded. I mean, it could be somewhere in the familial history. I mean, because that
Mm,
is very much prevalent. If
okay.
somebody's grandfather or somebody's uncle had, any type of bipolar or mood disorder or
Right.
schizophrenia, it does tend to show up. So that's the other thing.
Wow.
If it seems like it's nothing else that could be impacting, it's always important to get that family history.
Family history. Yep. Yep. Because it will run in the family.
It will,
Wow.
unfortunately. And the good news is you can get early intervention and get ahead of it.
Yeah. So that's what I was going to ask you because I don't want to keep you on here all night. What would you say to any of the young people that are watching now or may watch this later, specifically young people? Because I mean, I know adults too, but specifically like your teenagers, your high school kids right now who may see this and maybe just kind of feeling unsure about the way things are going in the world and kind of just like, well, I feel like I may need to talk to somebody, but my mom don't think, just kind of think,
Yeah.
what would you say to them? What could they do to kind of take control of their situation and get help? Um, how can they, reach out? Because see, the reason why I'm asking you is you have some kids that are kids, they're minors, and they may really feel like they got issues, right? Or they may feel like they need to talk to somebody other than their dad or their mom or their aunt because they just don't get it. And I know that they would have to have a parent to take them because of insurance and all that. But what could you say to them? Say they were coming to you. This is kind of a free session, a free consultation for them. And they told you, hey, Miss Dana, I'm thinking, I don't know, I'm overwhelmed, I'm anxious, this school stuff online is too much. I'm thinking
Mhm.
about hurting myself. What can I do? I'm at a loss.
I would say to them, the first and foremost thing is that you are absolutely not alone. And I think it's important because when you're going through something like that as a child, you often think, why me? And why is this just happening to me? And then it makes you kind of want to keep it to yourself because you're not sure of if other people are dealing with this. But
Mm-hmm.
I would also tell them that this is nothing but an opportunity to embellish who you are as a person. So that means as it relates to how you learn to interact with your peers, as
Mm-hmm.
it relates to how you feel about yourself,
Mm-hmm.
how it relates to the relationship that you have with your parents and your family members. All of these things are things that will help you that you can't see in the here and now because we've all been there where we feel like what adults tell us is important, really we can't see the importance of it.
Right.
But from a mental standpoint, it's important to notice that you have to exercise it and take care of it just as you do any other part of your physical body. So, just as if you
Mm-hmm.
had diabetes, you have to manage that. Just as if, you're unsure that, maybe you're overweight, you need to do something about your diet. This is the
Mm-hmm.
same thing. And so, just find that person, and hopefully each and every one of the children have at least one person that they can go to, and that often
Yeah.
happens whether it's somebody at school. That's why
Mm-hmm.
they have people in pediatricians office who kind of just do surveys and questionnaires because they know that it's hard for them to just volunteer the information. So if it's on a
Yeah.
questionnaire and your pediatrician says, so when's the last time you cried? And they say, oh, I cried all last week. The parents are in shock because
Right.
they're just dealing with it on their own. But I would just say, if there is that one person that you think you could talk to kind of give you some sound advice as far as to get you connected with somebody, because I think it's also important to know that it's not the same as talking to friends and family. When you talk to
Right.
someone who is with a clinical background, then it's very much different than the advice that you get. I mean, you should get advice from friends and family. That's a part of your development. But at the
Mm-hmm.
same time, as it relates to you tapping into what you need to do to be your best self, we all
Mm-hmm.
need help with that. Miss Dana,
Yeah.
I need help with that myself. So
Mm-hmm.
it's just a constant evolution of who you are.
Right. Right. Very, very good advice. Thank you so much. Thank you
Sure.
for coming on here.
I'm so sorry we had the little mishap to begin with.
Look, it's all right. I think it was just me. Look, this technology be tripping sometimes,
Right, right.
and
Yeah,
my
because
stuff
it
is
kept
going in and
buffering
out.
and everything.
I was like, but I do like the StreamYard, this
Yeah,
link
that was
because
perfect. Yep.
yeah, it's a lot better. And sometimes I just do the Facebook because I know it's easy for people just to go on their phone and do it. But
Right.
it's nice when you can be on the computer too.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
well, thanks for
Well,
coming
thank
on,
you so much
sis.
for having me.
I'm sure this is going to help a lot of people.
I hope so.
Parents too.
And
Parents
I
too.
do have to say, I would not be a clinician if I did not say that if anyone feels like they are in danger, that they want to hurt themselves or have feelings or thoughts about hurting anyone else, that there is help that you can call 911 or go to your nearest emergency room if you don't have a mental health practitioner that you're in touch with or your school counselor. It could be anybody, but just
Mhm.
know that you're not alone and you have to reach out.
Okay, very good. Tell everybody where they can get in touch with you in case they got questions. People may want to follow up and just tell them where they can find you on social and ways to get in touch with you.
Sure, sure. So I am on Facebook with just my name, Dana Yates. And my
Mhm.
email is the probably the best way to get in touch with me, which is D as in Dana, N as in Nancy, YATES 29 at gmail.com.
Okay. All right. Perfect. Thank you, sis. I love you so
I
much.
miss you. I hope to see you soon.
Yes, you got to come visit me. We're gonna have to talk offline about that.
Yes, yes. Love you,
I
Dana.
love you. Thank you again.
No problem. Have a good
All right.
evening.
Bye, boo. All right, that was my girlfriend Dana. Dana gave us some really, really good information. I'm so grateful for her coming on. We did have a little bit of difficulties earlier, but it's all good. It's all good. It's all good. I hope you guys will benefit from this. I'm gonna go enjoy the rest of my wine down on my wine. Y'all have a good night. Love you guys. Tune in next week.